Hello everyone, and welcome to my Soap Twist 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The tension in the Cliff House had been building for weeks, a slow-burning undercurrent that no one wanted to name. Finn Finnegan moved through his days with the careful precision of a man who had stared death in the face too many times and somehow walked away. His daughter Luna was gone, or so everyone believed. The accident, the confession, the tears from that quiet art teacher named Dylan who had appeared out of nowhere with her wide eyes and trembling voice. She had run Luna down in the dark, she said. An accident born of panic and confusion. Finn had forgiven her almost too quickly, pulling her into a hug that felt like absolution for them both. Steffi had watched it unfold with guarded relief, her own scars from Luna's reign of terror still raw. But forgiveness didn't erase suspicion entirely, it merely pushed it into the shadows. Dylan had become a fixture in their orbit. First at the beach house with Will Spencer and Electra Forrester, then drifting closer to the Finnegans. She offered to help with Hayes, babysitting when Steffi and Finn needed a moment alone. Her laughter was soft, her demeanor unassuming, the kind of person who blended into the background until you realized how much space she occupied. Finn found himself noticing her more than he should. Not in the way he noticed Steffi, never that, but in the quiet ways a doctor notices anomalies. The way her hands sometimes shook when she handed him a coffee, the faint scar along her jawline that she covered with makeup, the odd habit she had of glancing at family photos as if memorizing them. It started little. A late-night conversation in the kitchen after Steffi had gone to bed. Dylan lingered, helping clean up from dinner, her sleeves rolled up to reveal arms that looked stronger than an art teacher's should. Finn asked about her life before Los Angeles, the usual polite probes. She answered in fragments, small town, lost family, a fresh start. But her eyes darted to the photo of Luna on the mantel, the one Finn hadn't quite found the heart to put away. She looks so young there, Dylan murmured. Finn nodded, throat tight. She was always young in ways that hurt her. Dylan touched the frame lightly, fingers lingering. I wish I'd known her better. Before everything. The words hung between them, heavy with unspoken regret. Finn felt a pang, not just for Luna, but for this woman who carried the weight of her death. He told her she was welcome anytime, that forgiveness wasn't the one-time thing. She smiled, small and grateful, and left with a promise to check on Hayes the next day. Days blurred into a pattern. Dylan arrived with art supplies for Hayes, sketches of the ocean, stories about colors and light. Steffi warmed to her slowly, appreciating the help. Will and Electra reported that Dylan was settling in, though Electra's eyes narrowed sometimes when Dylan laughed too easily at Will's jokes. Finn dismissed it as jealousy, the natural friction of new people in tight circles. But he couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Dylan's story shifted subtly, details about her past that didn't quite line up when he thought about them later. A childhood in Oregon one day, California the next. A brother who died young, or was it a sister? He told himself it was trauma, the same fog that clouded his own memories after Sheila's games. The turning point came on a rainy evening. Steffi was out with Brooke, something about Forrester business. Finn stayed home with Hayes, who had a fever. Dylan offered to come over, bring soup, sit with the boys so Finn could rest. He accepted gratefully. She arrived soaked, hair plastered to her face, but her smile was bright. I couldn't let you handle this alone, she said, setting down a thermos. Hayes perked up at the sight of her, calling her Miss Dylan, in that trusting way children have. They played quietly in the living room while Finn monitored from the doorway. As night deepened, Hayes fell asleep on the couch. Dylan covered him with a blanket, her movements tender. Finn joined her, offering tea. They sat in the dim light, rain drumming against the windows. Conversation turned personal again. Dylan asked about Luna, not the monster everyone remembered but the girl before. Finn spoke haltingly, about her laughter, her dreams, the way she looked at him like he could fix everything. I failed her, he admitted. Dylan's eyes filled with tears. You didn't. She failed herself. But she loved you. More than anything. The words struck him. Loved you. Present tense. He looked at her closely. The rain had washed away some of her makeup, revealing that scar more clearly. It looked surgical, precise. His medical mind catalogued it. Not old, not accidental. Dylan, he said slowly, how did you get that scar? She touched it instinctively, then dropped her hand. An accident. Years ago. But her voice cracked. Finn's pulse quickened. He remembered Luna's face in those final moments, the desperation, the rage. He remembered the body they buried, the autopsy report that confirmed it was her. Yet here was this woman whose mannerisms echoed his daughter's in subtle, unnerving ways. The tilt of the head when listening, the way she bit her lip when thinking. He stood, moving closer. Tell me the truth. Dylan's breathing changed, shallow and rapid. Finn, please. Don't. But he reached out, gently at first, touching her cheek. She flinched but didn't pull away. His fingers found the edge of something unnatural beneath the skin, thin, almost imperceptible. A seam. His heart slammed against his ribs. What is this? In one swift motion, driven by instinct and dread, he gripped the edge and pulled. The mask came away in his hands, latex and prosthetics peeling back like a second skin. Beneath it was a face he knew too well. Luna. Her eyes wide with shock, then defiance. Hair matted from being confined, but unmistakably her. The room spun. Luna, he whispered, the name a wound reopening. She didn't deny it. Instead, she straightened, the timid art teacher vanishing. Daddy, she said softly, the word laced with mockery and pain. You always were too trusting. Finn staggered back, the mask dangling from his fingers. How? We buried you. The police, the autopsy. Luna laughed, a brittle sound. Money buys a lot. A body double, a cooperative coroner, a driver who owed me favors. Dylan was useful. Too useful. She got in the way, so I borrowed her face. Temporarily. Her gaze hardened. You forgave her so easily. Hugged her. Let her near Hayes. You never looked twice. The betrayal hit like a physical blow. Finn thought of every moment. Dylan in his home, with his son, with Steffi. The access she had gained through his compassion. You killed her. The real Dylan. Luna shrugged. She was collateral, like so many others. I needed to get close. To watch you grieve. To remind you what you lost when you chose Steffi over me. Finn's mind raced. The confession had been a performance, the tears calculated. Every interaction a step toward this moment. He glanced at Hayes, still sleeping peacefully. Luna followed his gaze. I wouldn't hurt him. He's my brother. You're not my daughter anymore, Finn said, voice breaking. You stopped being that the moment you picked up that gun. Luna's expression flickered. Hurt, then rage. You abandoned me. All of you did. I just wanted a family. You gave me nothing but rejection. He stepped between her and Hayes. Get out. Before I call the police. She didn't move. You won't. Not yet. Because part of you still loves me. The part that hugged Dylan and meant it. The rain pounded harder. Finn felt the weight of every mistake, every moment he had failed to see the truth. Luna had played them all, slipping into their lives like a ghost wearing someone else's skin. The mask in his hand felt obscene, a grotesque reminder of deception. Luna took a step forward. We can start over. Just you and me. Forget Steffi. Forget the Forresters. We can be what we should have been. Finn shook his head. No. This ends now. He reached for his phone, but Luna was faster. She grabbed his wrist, strength surprising. Don't make me hurt you, Daddy. I don't want to. In that moment, the door burst open. Steffi stood there, drenched, eyes wide as she took in the scene. The mask on the floor, Luna's real face, Finn frozen in horror. What the hell? Luna turned, smile twisting. Hello, Steffi. Miss me? Chaos erupted. Steffi lunged, but Finn caught her, holding her back as Luna backed toward the door. This isn't over, Luna hissed. I'll be back. For all of you. She fled into the rain. Finn slammed the door, locking it, then pulled Steffi close. Hayes stirred, confused. Daddy. Finn knelt, holding his son. It's okay. It's over. But he knew it wasn't. Luna was alive, maskless now, more dangerous than before. The woman he had forgiven, trusted, welcomed, gone, replaced by the monster he thought he'd buried. The scar on his soul reopened wider. In the days that followed, the truth unraveled slowly. Police searches, alerts, questions about the real Dylan's fate. Finn replayed every interaction, searching for clues he missed. Steffi blamed herself for not seeing it sooner. The family closed ranks, but the damage lingered. Trust, once shattered, was hard to rebuild. Luna vanished, but her presence haunted every shadow. Finn knew she was out there, plotting, waiting. The unmasking had revealed more than a face. It had exposed the fragility of forgiveness, the danger of compassion without caution. And in the quiet moments, when he looked at old photos of his daughter, he wondered if any part of the girl he loved remained, or if the mask had been the truest thing about her all along. The rain continued to fall over Los Angeles, washing away nothing. The nightmare wasn't over. It had simply shed one disguise for another. Finn held his family tighter, vowing never to be fooled again. But deep down, he feared the next mask might be even harder to spot. Finn stood frozen for a moment, the echo of his own breathing loud in his ears as the weight of what he was about to do settled over him. The dim light in the room cast long shadows across the walls, and for a fleeting second, doubt crept in. But too much had happened, too many lies and half-truths, for him to turn back now. Dylan had manipulated everyone, hiding behind a mask both literal and emotional, and Finn knew the truth had to come out, no matter the cost. His hand tightened around the edge of the mask. Dylan struggled weakly, muttering protests that sounded more desperate than convincing. Finn ignored him. He had replayed this moment in his mind countless times, imagining what he might feel when the truth was finally revealed. Anger, satisfaction, relief, perhaps all of it. But nothing prepared him for what happened next. With one sharp motion, Finn ripped the mask away. The room seemed to tilt. Time slowed, stretching into something unreal as Finn stared at the face revealed beneath the disguise. His heart slammed against his ribs, and for a moment he wondered if he was hallucinating, if stress and exhaustion had finally pushed him too far. Luna. Her name formed silently on his lips, unspoken but heavy with disbelief. Luna, who had laughed with him in the sunlit courtyard of the beach house. Luna, who had comforted him during some of his darkest moments. Luna, who had sworn she wanted nothing but honesty, transparency, and peace. Luna, who had been Dylan all along. She didn't look at him right away. Her eyes were closed, lashes trembling as if she were bracing for impact. When she finally opened them, there was no defiance there, only a quiet, aching resignation. Finn, she said softly, his name sounding different now, stripped of pretense. I can explain. The words felt almost insulting. Finn let out a hollow laugh, stepping back as though physical distance might help him process the emotional blow. His mind raced, connecting moments that had never quite made sense. The disappearances. The convenient alibis. The subtle ways Dylan always seemed one step ahead. It had been Luna. All this time, Finn said, his voice low and unsteady. It was you. She nodded slowly. Yes. The simplicity of her answer cut deeper than any lie could have. Finn dragged a hand through his hair, pacing the room as fragments of the past rearranged themselves in his memory. Conversations took on new meaning. Glances he had dismissed as nervousness now looked like guilt. Warnings he had ignored screamed for attention. Why? He demanded, stopping in front of her. Why would you do this? Why pretend to be someone else? Why hurt so many people? Luna swallowed hard. It wasn't supposed to go this far. That's always how it starts, Finn snapped. You don't wake up one day planning to destroy lives. You just keep making excuses until it happens. She flinched, and for a second, Finn saw the woman he had cared about. The one who loved fiercely, who felt deeply. That made it worse.
I was scared, Luna said.
Scared of being powerless again. Scared of being ignored, dismissed, erased. Finn crossed his arms, forcing himself to stay grounded. So you became Dylan. You manipulated people. You controlled situations from the shadows. Yes, she admitted. Because when I was Luna, no one listened. When I was Dylan, everyone did. The confession hung in the air, heavy and raw. Finn wanted to shout, to demand justice, to call everyone and expose her immediately. But another part of him, the part that still remembered late-night talks and shared dreams, ached with sorrow. You used me, he said quietly. Luna's eyes filled with tears. I never meant to use you. You were the one real thing I had. That's why this hurts so much. Finn shook his head.
Do not do that.
Don't turn this into something romantic or tragic. You lied to me. You lied to everyone. Silence fell between them, thick and suffocating. Outside, the distant sound of waves crashing against the shore reminded Finn where they were, at the B&B, a place meant for rest and healing, now tainted by secrets. What happens now? Luna asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Finn exhaled slowly. This was the part he hadn't prepared for. Unmasking Dylan had been his goal, but facing Luna afterward felt infinitely more complicated. The truth comes out, he said finally. No more masks. No more games. She nodded, tears spilling freely now. I'll tell them. All of them. I won't run. Finn studied her face, searching for any sign of deception. For the first time since he'd known her, she looked completely exposed. You should have trusted us, he said. You should have trusted me. I wanted to, Luna replied. But wanting something doesn't always mean you know how to do it. Finn turned away, needing a moment to collect himself. The anger was still there, simmering beneath the surface, but it was tangled with grief. He was mourning not just the betrayal, but the version of Luna he thought he knew. Footsteps echoed in the hallway outside the room. Others were coming, drawn by raised voices and unanswered questions. Finn knew the moment of private reckoning was almost over. They're going to hate me, Luna said. They're going to be hurt, Finn corrected. There's a difference. The door opened, and familiar faces filled the doorway, confusion quickly turning to shock as they took in the scene. Finn stepped aside, allowing everyone a clear view of Luna standing there, unmasked and trembling. Gasps rippled through the group. Luna? Someone whispered. She lifted her chin, summoning what little strength she had left. Yes, it was me. The reactions came fast and furious. Anger, disbelief, heartbreak. Questions flew from every direction, accusations layered with pain. Finn stayed silent, watching as the truth unfolded in real time. For the first time, Dylan didn't exist. There was no mysterious figure pulling strings, no unseen enemy to blame. There was only Luna, facing the consequences of her choices. As voices rose and emotions spilled over, Finn felt a strange sense of finality. The nightmare was over, even if the aftermath would be messy and long. Secrets had a way of poisoning everything they touched, but truth, painful as it was, offered the possibility of healing. Later, when the room had emptied and Luna was escorted away, Finn remained behind. He sank into a chair, exhaustion washing over him. He had won in a sense, but victory felt hollow. He thought about the B&B, about how many stories had intersected there, how many people had come seeking refuge. Maybe this was just another chapter, a dark one, but not the end. Finn closed his eyes, breathing deeply. Tomorrow there would be fallout. Conversations. Decisions that couldn't be undone. But tonight, the truth had been revealed, and that mattered. Somewhere along the way, Luna had lost herself behind a mask. And in unmasking her, Finn had lost something too. Yet as painful as it was, he knew one thing for certain. No matter how devastating the truth, living in lies would have been far worse. The mask lay forgotten on the floor, cracked and useless. Finn stared at it for a long moment before turning off the light and walking away, leaving the shadows behind.